Good morning. I'm Melanie from Within Her Light. How are we doing? I am here to channel a message from with inspiration from the Angels and Oracle deck. I have an Angels and Oracle deck by Kyle Gray, and I'm going to select a card from there to get some inspiration on who and what theme, I guess you could say, I'm going to channel to get some messages or message. I'm not sure whether these are going to be a succession of separate messages or one long themed message. Either way, take the messages as they resonate. Um, there may not be something for you, and that's okay, or maybe some of it will be, or all of it will be. Whatever works for you. Um, Readers always say, um, don't try and make a reading fit. Um, I always like to go an extra step with that. If you have to go as far as asking if the message fits or trying to see where it possibly could, it's probably not your reading, or at least it's not your message within the whole big picture of the reading. Because when it fits, you'll know it. You won't even have time, I don't think. Anyway, I don't think you'll have time to give it much thought process. It will just feel right here, and of course, you'll know if it applies just to the general circumstances of your life. So, that said, I also want to let you know that my readings are always timeless, always. In real time, it's March 2026, but this may not reach you for days, weeks, months, or even years, and that's completely okay. If you're not finding anything that resonates with you, just get used to me and my voice and my style. I really think that the energy exchange will help. Will help. We could sort of get on the same wavelength. I'm not sure what wording I'm looking for here, but I think that as you do get used to my style, you'll find that future and even past readings uh, may start to channel messages for you. So stay tuned. So that said, I'm going to pick off a card here. I've been sort of lightly shuffling as I go here. Alright, let's have a look here. So off the top of the deck, I have, the Elder. The Elder. Healing through lineage. Okay, so before I jump to tarot, um, I, I just want to say my first impressions really is ancestral wounds. We think of a lot of healing we have to do. We hear or know of healing we have to do personally, and a lot of it is from our lineage too, healing ancestral wounds. So a phrase just came to mind is divine feminine, a very hot topic phrase. We use that all the time, and we aim to balance our divine feminine with our divine masculine. Um, but feminine brings to mind because one famous and clear example of healing through lineage is something like the witch wound. The witch wound that may be carrying from mother to daughter, mother to daughter, mother to daughter for generations, ever since the dark ages or the centuries of the witch hunts. And believe it or not, that can carry through all the way to today. And as a collective, and I really feel this is true, as a collective, I feel that now is the time to put all of those fears and, obstacles to rest. And by that, and it applies to spiritual matters, and, I'm using tarot. It's a very much taboo subject to this day. It's getting more popular. It's fun and exciting depending on how you view it. I mean, it is always for entertainment purposes, isn't it? But um, there is a more laid back approach, but there is still a taboo aspect of it. You know, it took me a long time to come and do videos, for example. I didn't think everyone I know would approve until I learned that they don't have to. But that's another story for another day. So we bring through this deep down fear um, that I believe is actually part of our lineage. It's a fear that's passed down and passed down, and for some of us, it could be brought forward from a past life, even. So that was a bit of a ramble there. It was my intuitive hits I got just from pulling this guy, the elder, and it wouldn't only apply to feminine. This applies to masculine too. I just said that little story as I feel it relates to me personally, and I think it came out too because there's someone here in the collective or a group in the collective who would also relate to that. So this is for everyone, not just the divine feminine. He's a male character anyway, so he's the elder. I love these cards. There's so much detail and illustration. And I also find this earthy and grounded too. Um, so the root chakra is coming up for me too, just with the earthy colors. So there could be something with that too. So this is the energy that I'm channeling. We're channeling healing through our lineage. So with that, I am going to jump to the tarot. And I love that the tarot deck that I chose is actually a earthy theme to it. It's called the Magical Hours. There's a lot of greenery, a lot of plants. Um, it's pretty much spread throughout the theme of the whole deck. So I feel like I know where I'm going. I have a very cool feeling of the sense that I have of where I'm going with this whole reading. So let's see. I usually find that when I channel these messages, there are usually separate messages that mean separate things for separate people. So you take what's yours and you leave the rest behind. But oftentimes, and this is a biggie, I'm finding that there's still a common core theme that goes throughout the whole reading. So this could be something that hits home generally for you, and it still can be your reading, even though not every little thing I say applied to you, and that's perfectly okay, and it's very normal. That's actually what most of us can expect. So let me start off with pulling 3 cards and let's see where we're going. So first, from the bottom, I have the 9 of Cups. Well, that's beautiful right off the bat. It's a feeling of present day contentment. A lot of us may just feel quite happy where we are in the now, or we are building towards something, especially on an emotional level. We could be building our families, or we could be building, it could be our careers if we really and truly are in a career serving our purpose to where we love it from the bottom of our heart. It's our passion. I say that because Cups is the suit of emotions. So I always think of waves with emotions, and the 9 of Cups, I just think of serene, flowy waves. There's no storms going on, and you're just happy. You're just happy floating on there. It's very commonly seen as the wish fulfillment card too. You know, your wishes are coming true. You're right where you want to be. You know you're going in the right direction emotionally. So with the Nine of Cups, we have the Emperor. Okay, that's stability. This is a beautiful balance. And we have the Hierophant. Okay, so, well, this is lovely. There's structure here. There is structure here within our lives. But it's not, it doesn't feel restrictive. It doesn't feel as if anyone is in a, is the word trapped, in a trapped place. Um, it just means you have the space and the resources to do what you love to do. And the Hierophant, I do feel there is a message there relating to our theme of healing through the lineage. But the Hierophant does speak to our structures within life, or should I say traditions, our family traditions. This card means slightly different things to me every time I see it, and so it should. This is the true nature of tarot reading. It's never black and white. It's always fluid. Um, so the Hierophant speaks to me of traditions that are handed down through the family. It could be the expectations that many of us are expected to conform to, as far as perhaps college, perhaps not college, but you get established in a career, or you are expected to marry, have kids, the sort of traditional aspects of the human existence that we are expected to live through. Um, or it could just be pointing to the traditions that have passed down. It could be that some of us are born to a very spiritual practicing lineage. I'm actually getting that for someone here in our collective. Let me know in the comments. Perhaps you know you're descended from witches. I think a lot of us are, actually. Perhaps you already know. Or just generally speaking, you are born into, a line of highly psychic people, and it's no secret, and it's not even taboo. Or it's the other way around, to where you are suddenly sort of spawned and you're sprung here with all these abilities, but you are within a very strict environment, maybe highly religious. I could be getting that for someone, but I actually think, for the feeling I'm getting with the collective, that the former is more accurate. That there are there are those of us that are born into a lineage of traditional, psychic powers is not the word, but that's just what came to mind. And now I'm getting the feeling that that's happened to a lot of us without knowing it. Mama, grandma, great grandma, and beyond very well had psychic abilities. Very well, but you may not know it, and the families in general did not know it because it was hidden. I know what this reading is now because it was hidden. It was kept under wraps for simple fear of persecution, or for fear of not being taken seriously. Everyone knows that they're not going to be burned at the stake now, but we still have that fear that this is what this is all about. It's somewhere deep inside, there is that deep down fear of being burned at the stake. And even though that can't possibly happen now, at least I hope not, we do have the tendency to worry about these things on a deep down level, and it's stopping us from being completely free. So, it's basically, in other words, in quick terms, it just simply means it's taboo. That's what this means. It's not everyday, it's not conventional, and certainly not taken seriously in a professional sense. And for some things, that's okay, when we're talking about the professions that absolutely require the use of a left brain, you know, scientists, doctors, airline pilots. Please only rely on your logic. But just because that needs to be does not mean that we should be dismissing our spiritual side. It has its beautiful place, and it's all about balancing. And the Emperor card is here, and this is a comfortable feeling that I'm getting. It's really letting us know, actually, that it's okay. We can allow ourselves the freedom to practice this, or our arts. I'm using spirituality as an example. It could be any sort of art form. I'm thinking, and this must apply to someone because it's just popped into my mind, is that there certainly was a time when women could not tread the boards. By that I mean, that's what they used to say if you were an actor, an actress, a singer, a dancer on stage. There was a time that it was actually, it was practically borderline prostitution. I mean, that's the attitude that they had back in the day. We're talking a few centuries ago at this point, where, if a woman wanted to be an actress, that's kind of how she was looked upon. So that might mean something for someone, because that's not exactly an example I've ever used before. I learned it personally because when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actress. That's just how I know of the concept. Not that I had to worry about that. I mean, I'm not that old. It's just something I learned and picked up along the way, and I don't even remember when and where. Um, so, anyway, it doesn't just apply to things like reading tarot or divination or anything like that. Um, or just spiritual concepts in general. The Emperor is here to let us know that we are in a safe space now. It's the divine masculine that's actually within us, and it can be external too, but the whole point is to balance both within us, because we do have, every single one of us does have both within us. We just need to learn to balance this throughout our lifetimes. And he's here to give that structure, and with that you will find externally the society will start to come around. And not everyone has to agree with you, but you will find that you feel free to do it. Even those in your family that completely dismiss this and think it's a bunch of rubbish, they will still allow the space. I hope I'm articulating my point okay. I say this in a lot of readings. I ramble. I ramble partly because I know I'm channeling, and I could inadvertently be bringing through a message to someone without even realizing it. And it's just my style. It really is just my style. 99% of my videos are going to come to you unedited and unfiltered. I say 99%. There has already been times when I've had to pause, stop, because, for example, I have a dog and she's in the background and she might be making a lot of noise. So, other than that, I think there's a lot of AI manufactured content on YouTube, and I want to steer away from that. I want to be someone that is actually being their authentic selves. And it's okay if I'm not for you. I might not be the reader for you, or maybe I am. And thank you for staying with me. Welcome to everybody, by the way. I'm holding on to this one card that just flew out as I was rambling away there. I was still shuffling, and the King of Cups came out. He came out for a very good reason, because this is my case in point. King is male, Cups is pointing to our emotions. He balances both. He's a figure that's an elder figure that can offer compassion. I think compassion through experience. He can allow you the space, and he's a listener. And I really think he is a good example of the type of support that you can expect going forward. So, where am I going with this? To heal through our lineage is to feel as if we have to be brave. We're stepping into the unknown. So, a lot of us are stepping into new territory for them. They are expressing themselves and they are exploring. It's not easy. It is terrifying, and many of us actually feel like they're not going to get to that place in this life. That happened to me. So you may very well end up surprising yourself. But to heal, it is to face those fears. It is to identify your fear as an obstacle and not work around it, but tackle it and get over it and find that everything is actually okay, and you come out the other end and you're able to be a lot more expressive than you ever were before. And to me, that is one beautiful example of healing. There's many examples, it's infinite, but that's one example. And I really do feel that when you do, you'll find that your worst fear was nowhere near what you thought it was inside here. Our brains and our minds fabricated all kinds of pictures of what would happen if we were found out. When the truth is, you actually find that you were given supports, or you are allowed the supports. And that is where I feel the energies of the King of Cups is coming through, and the Emperor for that matter. So you'll know if this reading is for you. I hope the noise in the background is not too distracting for you. My Rosie, my dog, has decided now is the time to eat. And she's loud. I have the door open for her, which is actually allowing some beautiful sounds coming through because it's really early in the morning and the birds are singing. So that's a natural, authentic sound we're listening to back there. So let me pull a couple of cards because we are at 23 minutes. So we have the Three of Swords. Okay. That points to separation and heartache. It could be pointing to your fear of what would happen if you was to express yourself. It points to the hearts and a broken heart, but it's focused on the hearts. So I need a few cards here to clarify this, to see what messages are coming through. Again, of course, as I mentioned at the beginning, there could be some random messages coming through. So this could just be a message for someone. It's all about healing, though. That's the common theme. It's still about healing. Okay. All right. But perhaps someone has had a bad experience letting their voice out, and it's caused heartbreak. I'm not sure if that's it, but I think that's your fear. I think you might be afraid of rejection from society in general. But let's pull some cards, because the Three of Cups does indicate rejection. Now the Ace of Wands flew out. I don't usually take reversals, but the Ace of Wands flew out reversed. Just so you know, this is what we look like the right way up. she has ideas. She wants to go forwards, but reversed, I think that points to the fact that she is afraid to. She's got the burning passion within her. Excuse me. She's got the burning passion within her. She has the idea. She has even all the resources. But she feels that something is stopping her. She feels she cannot. This could be in relation to a card like the Hierophant, where we're stuck in a traditional solid structure and we just feel that we cannot move. We're feeling like we cannot be our authentic selves. That's why I feel this card came reversed. My only advice, personally, is to let go and to surrender to the process. You may very well find yourself in environments to where you can slowly but surely express yourself in this way. You know, for example, you don't have to go out today, buy a camera and start a YouTube channel if you just don't feel comfortable doing that. But you can start to learn the material or watch the content. Others will come around. What I'm saying is, I really think that you have more support than you realize, more support than you ever realize. It might not be outright obvious support, but support can come in the form of just being allowed your space. This is your own personal project, your own personal hobby. You don't have to discuss it with everyone you know, including your loved ones. But the support can come in with the fact that they will let you be. They will let you do it. I really think this is a message for someone. I really do. There's someone out there that's fearful. I do want to go backtrack a little bit. I said, you don't have to start today. Some of you can start today. You don't need fancy equipment. I have not invested anything in equipment here to start a YouTube channel. It's in its infancy. In real time, this is March 2026. I have about 30 subscribers, which I am very grateful for. But obviously that shows you how much of a tiny infant baby I am. And I'm excited to see how I grow. But so I've not invested anything. This is just the natural light of the room. I've not even bothered with hair. Well, I tried, but to be honest, I just don't. I still think I can get the messages through to you anyway. This is too many cards that come out, but the Hermit's here, which actually points to exactly what I was just saying about being allowed your space. It's all about inner reflection. And I haven't lost track of our message here, the healing through the lineage, because this is all about being able to finally express yourself. You're doing yourself a service, and a service to all those that came before you that were silenced. That's a big deal. Felt that they were silenced, or quite frankly was silenced for fear of persecution. This is a beautiful reading. I did want to clarify a bit more on this Three of Swords that come out, because this is a message here for somebody out there. So we have the Hanged Man. Okay. Someone is hurting out there, and it's going to pass. It's going to ease. I know that's cliche. Time heals all pain. But the message is clear, that it's going to ease. And when you go through something, heartache, unfortunately, does happen. It happens to every single one of us. And when there's an ending, it usually paves the way for a beautiful beginning and a better and more free feeling beginning. It'll be a relief. And with that, we have the Knight of Cups, which which shows me, truth to what I just said. This Knight of Cups, it's a she. Traditionally, it's a he, but she's coming through with a new seed, a new plant to nurture that she is loving. She's already sown the seed. She's not the page anymore. She is excitedly growing this. Look at this image. So from that place of hurt and separation, we're coming through with it. We're blossoming. We are blossoming again in a new expansive direction. Expansive is key. Through every setback, it's actually the prelude to expansion. It really is a lovely message here. It does more. It does not do it justice if I just say there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's more than that. Something had to happen for your world to expand. And it is expanding. It's expanding beyond your wildest dreams. We're doing nothing but look forward here in a really nurturing. What I'm feeling is love, is nurturing, it's support. You're definitely going to be supported. You simply could just be fearful of separation if you was to speak your truth. This is a lot to do. I mentioned the root chakra earlier. We have our heart chakra activated. We are talking primarily about our throat chakra here. This is our ability to feel free, to be able to speak up. And it's not just about speaking and expressing ourselves, although a lot of us may need to work on that. Take each day as it comes. No one says that this can be happening overnight, and it can't happen overnight. That's the whole point of healing. There would be no issues in the world if things were healed that quickly. All right, so I'm looking at the time. I'm going to pull one more card to see if this can conclude our reading. This has been deep. I love the messages where I get to channel, where I select a card to channel. It gets deep. It really points in the direction that feels right for me in general tarot readings. We see so many love readings, or separation, or you're in separation, and that's fine. And I probably will still do those readings. But this is the type of channeling that really feels right for me, my style, and I feel like I'm being my authentic self, actually. I don't want to just do readings that I think will be popular to get the views. These messages will find you when they find you, if they're meant to find you. I truly believe that. It's not costing me any money to put a video up on YouTube. I've got nothing to lose. So, it's here for you. It's here for you whenever you need it. So one last card is the Wheel of Fortune. That's lovely. That's a lovely card to end on. And just look at the imagery. You see what I mean when I say there's a lot of earth elements in all these cards. I mean, there's flowers. There's yellow flowers. I mentioned this the other day. Yellow flowers are coming up in imagery for me all the time. And it does happen to be springtime right now as I'm recording this. So it's looking to the sun. It's spiritual. I want to say things are going our way, because it feels like there's brighter days ahead, and it just feels very positive. And the Wheel of Fortune is generally telling me that the right doors will open up for you. If you are following the path you're born to follow, and you are born to follow this path, which means you can release, let go, just live in the now. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow is still going to come, and it's going to, and solutions are always found in the moments. There's a message here for someone. How many times, me included, This question is for me too. How many times have we been so worried and anxious about something coming up in the future? A meeting at work, or the possibility of a confrontation. That's a big one. Or, just some horrible nagging feeling that, try as you might, your mind keeps going there, only to find that when that moment arises, you were dealing with it quite fine and quite well in that moment. It was unraveling the way it was supposed to, and you moved on, even if it was confrontational. I hope not. But when you're experiencing it, and then it works its way out. Nothing stays tense forever. Everything always works its way out. So, so just don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's no such thing as tomorrow. There's always now. There's always now. You can only be now. Excuse me. I am so sorry. Let me just take a quick sip. Okay, it's all this talk about the throat chakra. The right opportunities are going to come along for you when they need to be. And that means the exciting opportunities are waiting for you. But you don't have to be begging for them or even trying to manifest them, because you are already manifesting what you're meant to be manifesting. There's a lot of overthinking with that. You're already manifesting what you're meant to be manifesting. That's a channeled message. If it's what you want, if that's what you desire, if it's coming from your heart, job done. Consider it done. And you'll find that as time does unfold, everything will be lined up just for you to take the steps. You'll be given the time, the space, the support. That's all opportunities. You'll be given your opportunities. So there's a very relaxing and serene message with that. To start off with our elder healing through the lineage, I feel as if I had a lot of intuitive hits today. I always do. It's wonderful. So, that said, I am going to leave it here. I do want to say that a couple of things. First of all, I do have a Facebook page, which is growing. Not group. I might do a group, a private group, but for now I have a regular Facebook page. Check that out. The link to that will be in the description. It will just have lots of inspiration or news and updates, kind of see it as a newsletter, if you like, that you can check in on every now and then. But there's also going to be spiritual discussion and quotes and inspiration. So that's something that I actively work on. But also, if you are interested in a private reading with me, as of now, those readings are offered through Etsy, which I offer to you through written format. If you're familiar with that platform, you know that most of the readings are through written format, and gives me all the time in the world to channel what I need to channel for you. I like that format. So anyway, the link to that Etsy shop will also be in the description. And other than that, of course, like and subscribe. I am a growing channel, so the support means the world to me. And if you have gotten this far, then there likely was messages here for you. Apologies for the noise, but at that said, I am going to leave it there. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. Take care. Bye-bye.